There's an expression, a saying in the Islamic context: first we come for the Saturday people, then we come for the Sunday people. The Saturday people are the Jews, the Sunday people are the Christians. So it always starts with the Jews, but it never just ends with the Jews, because again, a fair world, a just world is where everybody is Islamic. And I'll tell you
what I want to find though is there a specific animus for the Jews? Because if there's just like this sort of rolling thing of like, okay, we're 90% Christian now, but in 500 years we're going to be 10% Christian, and that's just, we are better at propagating things, making people less comfortable being here, whatever. And so over a long enough time period, we're going to win in any region that we go to. But there's no particular animus for Christians or Jews. It's just like, we'll get rid of them. But if there's specific animus for Jews that there isn't for Christians, even though they've both been pushed out of the region, then obviously it begs the next question, which is why a specific animus for the Jews?
It's canonical. It's in the teaching.
In the Quran?
That's right. There are three quote holy books in Islam. There is the Quran, there's the Hadith, and then there's the Sirah, the biography of Muhammad. Okay, and now different people, they could be Quranic literalists who say no, I only rely on the Quran. There are others. The Hadiths are basically the deeds and the sayings of Muhammad. But and then there is a mechanism by which you assign to a particular story in the Hadith its veracity. So in Arabic, sahih means how true it is. And so here is a story that's narrated by such and such about how Muhammad did such and such. And by the way, because Muhammad is the ultimate model to emulate forevermore, then those stories are really important because they become moral teachings about how to act. So if Muhammad did behavior X, one of the reasons why, now you may think that behavior is reprehensible, but the reason why you can't say that behavior is reprehensible, because how could it be that the most perfect moral person that's ever lived would ever do something that is reprehensible? That's why you get the mental gymnastics of trying to justify why he did this and not that, okay? So those are the three books that you rely on. And we don't have to guess. Bill Warner, who is by training a physicist, so he's trained in the scientific method, many years ago, he founded a center called the Center for the Study of Political Islam, where he applies what's called content analysis to answer such questions. Does the Quran and the Hadith have a lot of Jew hatred in them? Well, I don't have to guess that. I can use the scientific method to gauge that. How do you do that? So what content analysis does is it allows you to come up with a coding scheme to do the hermeneutics, the content analysis of any text. So for example, if I want to study literature, so never mind religious texts, I want to study how often in classic canons of Western literature do we place greater value on female beauty in the protagonist versus male beauty. So there is a tool I can use called the content analysis that would allow me to say, out of these 100 classic literature novels, 79% of all cases where a character is described regarding their beauty, it is female. So it's clear, it's clean. So I can go to those texts and study what those texts say about Jews. It's not pretty, Tom. It's really not pretty. As a matter of fact, Bill Warner compared the amount of Jew hatred in Mein Kampf. You know the guy with the little mustache?
I do.
You remember him?
Yeah, for better or worse.
Remember him? Okay. So Bill Warner does an analysis of Jew hatred in Islamic texts versus Mein Kampf. Oops, it doesn't look too good. So you don't need to believe Gad Saad, but you have to do something that most people, to go back to our earlier point, find very, very difficult to do. It's called think. It's very hard for me to go and apply my cognition. I'd rather just hear Barack Obama tell me that Islam is peace and it teaches peace. It doesn't.